Hello, welcome to the Esoteric Empire. For this video, as you can see by the title, we will be doing a pick a pile reading. And this is going to be a message from spirit or your spirit guides. It could be just something you need to hear at this moment. It could be your ancestors, whatever you tap into whenever you need to seek advice or when you're connecting with your higher self. This is who you are going to be receiving that message from, okay? So we have 3 piles here. If you're someone who receives messages with your ears, like if you have ears to hear, I want you to pay close attention to how I say each pile's number. If you're someone who's a visual spiritual person, I want you to look at the piles, pause it and look at it for yourself and decide which one is pulling your energy. And if you're just somebody who, you do what you do, you just figure out which one you want to hear from, okay? So we have pile number 1. Pile number 2, and pile number 3. Alright, so let's get started. Hi, pile number 1, welcome to your reading. Let's see what message is in store for you. So the spirit that is trying to connect with you is a very masculine spirit. There is a sense of you needing to know your own power, your own accountability. And I feel like the spirit wants you to feel or have a more boost of self. You need to be more in touch with self, okay? So this spirit sees that you are tempted at this point. You've been going through maybe, some times where you've been tempted to make some bad decisions, or maybe you're dealing with an addiction. I also see that some people here are having a really bad ego issue. So whether this is not taking accountability, or this could even be that you're playing the victim role, like maybe you're playing more of a part in your demise and you're not taking accountability for that. This spirit that is connecting with you wants you to know you need to change your behavior. But also not just change your behavior, but recognize what you're doing. Be in the present. Be cognizant of what your doings are within your dynamic, within your life, and the choices you make. Okay? So for some of you that are watching this certain pile, there's some of you that need to take accountability and stand up for yourself, but then there's like another sector of you guys who's, just making it seem like you don't have any power. And I feel like this spirit is very aggravated because you're not tapping into your own potential. And it doesn't want to play any games with you. It's not playing anymore. I feel like the spirit is, honestly speaking, I feel like it's fed up. Because I feel like I feel like it's a masculine energy. I feel like he is saying, you can do better than this. You're more than this. Like, have you forgotten who you are? Have you forgotten who you are? So with these 2 cards here, I see there's someone who is battling. You could be, grown, right? You can be adult. I hope you are if you're watching this video. But I see it's someone who's battling the child within, and that's why they can't move on to being the warrior that they're supposed to be. And then I also see someone in battle with someone that they feel is this, very scary entity or person or circumstance, and they feel like the little kid, and they have the energy to probably go back and forth with this person, but they truthfully are scared that they cannot conquer. I'm also seeing that there's someone watching this that can't make that transition from child to adult. It doesn't matter if you're male or female, but there's an energy of you not being able to transition into adulthood, or to transition out of that child mind state. Like, you're not a child anymore. You're not to say you're not innocent, you most likely are not, but I'm saying you can defend yourself now. There's someone who feels like they got stuck in their child mind. Maybe something happened and it triggered them for the rest of their life. And this spirit is saying, you got to fight through it now. Like, now you can't say that you're innocent now. You're not a child anymore. At that time, whatever happened to you, you were not able to fight back then. Now you are. And now you're just not doing it, and that's what's pissing this spirit off. They want you to do better. They want you to fight back. They want you to fight for yourself, fight for your life. So that got kind of deep, kind of fast. So I don't know if you're literally going through a situation where you are in battle, or maybe there is just an energy of you needing to, like, want to. It's like you're not wanting to be. You don't want to live. That sounded very morbid. I'm sorry, but that's what I'm picking up on. It's somebody who physically feels like, oh, like the government will take care of it for me, or it doesn't matter, I'm never going to be successful. Like, you have this very negative outlook, and this energy is not okay with that. Also, if you're dealing with an addiction, or if you're dealing with something that may be a bad habit rather, this spirit is saying you deal with that shit, deal with your demons, because they're never going to go away. As long as you pretend that they're not there, the bigger they will become. Okay, so if you're running away from a bad habit or something, this spirit is saying you need to confront that shit and figure out why you have to do it, or why you feel as though you have to do it, because you don't have to. That's the whole thing. It's like it wants you to take your power back. Okay? So the advice, or what the main message of what this spirit is trying to get you to understand, this you need direction, and you need to ground yourself. I also feel like for some of you, if this is a common theme or pattern within your life, I would encourage you to maybe see if there is a family member who dealt with this type of issue, and see how this affects you now, or if there is a family member involved in this situation as to why you are the way that you are now. There's some shadow work that needs to be done. Also, if you are in a career or if you had a job and you know that you could be having a career and you know you have a talent or something, this spirit is saying, what are you waiting for? Like, you're being your biggest enemy. There's also a sense of you being afraid to go through the struggles. And when people are afraid to go through the dark side, or not even the dark side, but the scary side of life, that's when, for me, I feel like that's when people get stuck in the darker side of life. They don't even realize that they're in it, because fear is what, that's what all that is. That's what that energy is. It's fear. So if you're afraid to make that leap, or if you're afraid to do something to better yourself, you need to stop, because you're doing that and it's sabotaging your growth. Okay, it's sabotaging your growth. If you're seeing the number 3, the number 12, the number 4, or the number 6, if those numbers mean anything to you, tap into whatever that means. I don't know. I don't know. I was just told to give you those numbers. But tap into that energy and see what information you get from that. Okay, or just pay attention, and maybe you're seeing 333 or something like that. But go ahead and tap in, and don't be afraid to. There's a lot of warrior energy here, and so you may have to go through a little warrior boot camp, but the spirit wouldn't be showing up for you for no reason. Okay, so that is your message from spirit. Thank you so much for watching. If it resonated with you, make sure you leave me a thumbs up, pretty please, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye. Pile number 2, hello. Welcome to your message. Let's go ahead and see what's coming through for pile number 2. Alrighty, so hello. Welcome, as I was saying. So, this spirit that's trying to connect with you in this situation, they want you to know how loved you are. Okay, that's the first thing I'm getting. I feel warm. I feel like this person, or this spirit, I don't know why I said person, the spirit is very comforting, to say the least. I think they're a little hippie-ish. Okay, that's the vibe. That's the word that I can put towards it. Okay, so this is a very free-flowing type of energy. Okay, so I feel like this spirit sees that you are, trying to stay in the race. You are doing very well. I think they noticed that. I don't know if this is because the spirit is particularly positive, but they do feel as though you're doing very well. They see that you're alone, but they feel like you want more. I feel like this spirit actually is calling for you to connect with other people. Be it your family, or they want you to start a family. Also with partnerships and alliances, if you are someone who kind of pushes people away, I feel like the spirit is saying, like, let's reconnect with those. Let's, give back. Let's be around people. There's a real distinct message of connecting with people. So especially if you used to be like a social butterfly, I'm not saying you should give everyone, your attention, but there's this energy of just like needing you to reconnect, because I feel like you're in this you kind of, maybe life has taught you that you shouldn't be cool with everyone, or you should just stay to yourself, because you're like, well, if I'm alone, then nobody can hurt me. And at times that's a very good way to think, especially if you're around toxic people, right? But I feel like at this point in your life, this spirit is saying you have, like, now that you've separated yourself from all of the bad people or all of the toxic shit, and now that you have become a better person, you've made it through the fire. And so now it's almost like spirit is saying, I have provided certain people to be around you that will help you and give you the things that you're looking for. But you won't reach out. You won't connect. Like, I can only push you so hard. I feel like that's what the spirit is saying. This spirit also is saying you're going through a time where you've become so logical. You've become so... you've become so human. This is interesting. You've become so human that you've forgotten how to be loving. Like, when I say human, I mean you know how to be a human, meaning you know how to dress, you know how to go to work, you know how to I don't know, pay your bills. But there's a lack of the spiritual side of yourself that's missing. You've disconnected. And I feel like this is because you have been through some things, there's reason behind this. And I think that you have actually progressed because you've disconnected. But at this time, I feel like spirit is saying it's time to kind of push you towards people. It's time for you to connect so you can grow some things. Because at this time, everything is very cut and dry in your life. Everything is black and white. And the spirit wants you to add color. Okay? To know if this particular spirit is tapping in with you, if you see the number 3, if you see the number 12, if you see the number 4, okay? But mainly 3 is what I'm seeing, the number 3. Or 333, something like that. All right, so the advice from this particular spirit, we have 10 of Pentacles and the Chariot. So if you have family members that you have disconnected from, it's time for you to, make amends with these people. Only if you know that they care. If you have issues with your mother, it's time to reconnect, okay? If you have issues with a Cancer sign, it's time to reconnect. It's time for you to start adding that nurturing side, okay? So let's think about it in a very simple way. When you have plants, this is a very easy way to look at how relationships are. So when you have plants, this is a combination of really all elements, but the main 2 that make up the plant are earth and water. You need water, okay? And so earth is that stability, right? So you have to build that foundation so that something can grow, okay? Now water is the nurturing aspect. It's the feeding of the plant, if you will. It's to make sure the plant knows that you're there, that something cares. And I know that sounds really hippie-like, but I'm just saying that's the vibe that I'm getting with this energy. So if there's certain times where plants seem like they're dead, right? But as soon as you water them, as soon as you start caring for them, as long as it didn't, rot for too long or anything, you can bring it back to life. And I feel like there is a certain relationship within your family or just within your life that the spirit wants you to try to nurture back to health again. And this also will be healing you. I feel the child within you. Okay, so whether it's your mother or it's a person that is no relation to you, whether it's just them wanting you to be able to show how much love, it's almost like they want you to meet someone so that that person can give you the love that you've been missing or something like that. So yeah, if you've been like kind of having the urge to maybe like call a certain person or go out or something like that, like I think that's a hunch, okay? And especially if you're seeing certain numbers at certain times, whenever you're feeling those feelings. But just keep in mind, this is not to push you towards toxic people, okay? So this is only for the people that are in good headspaces. They've gotten their life together even if they weren't always a good person. Or this is just new people, that you can meet, okay? So that is your message. I hope that it resonated with you. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated, please leave me a thumbs up. And also subscribe to the channel so you can get more videos like this. And if you want a private reading, you can email me lovefromaleo@gmail.com. Alrighty. Hello, pile number 3. Let's go ahead and see what message you picked. This is interesting. For the other piles, I didn't really pick up on exactly what the spirit was exactly, but I feel like this is your higher self speaking to you. So this is probably going to be a very personal message. It's almost probably going to feel like you're just thinking to yourself. Okay, that's the message that I just got. Okay, so this spirit wants you to know that it sees that you have been working really hard to build for your future. It sees that you've been doing a lot of self-work. Okay, so maybe you were a person who, you know, used to go through hell and back, just dealing with maybe your emotions, or just, you know, the life that you decided on before coming here. And they see that you've done the work, right? But they also feel as though you're still that innocent child. Like, you still have that nature in you. And I feel like some of you are going through stages where you kind of feel like, yo, like, can I move on? Like, can I move forward? Did I already get through my traumas? Did I already get through all the, like, you kind of, like, you look like everything's okay. Your life looks put together, you know? But I feel like sometimes when you're by yourself, you just have these wandering thoughts, and you're like, yo, am I even, like, progressing? Like, what am I doing? Like, but this varies. I feel like there's a lot of emotional connections with this. I feel like this is just based on your mood. You know, some days you feel like, yo, I'm the shit, like, I did that. And then other days you're like, I'm not making any progression. I'm not making any movements. What am I doing? And so it's kind of like it helps you that you're kind of like that, because when you get in that mode where you feel like you're not doing shit or you're not making any movements, that's what pushes you to be better than the average person. So that's why to other people, everyone looking at you like, what are you complaining for? Like, everything's good in your life, everything's perfect, like you're tripping, like you're literally like tripping for no reason. And you're like, yo, but I have A, B, C, D, E, F, G to fix, to build. I haven't achieved any of my goals. And you know, like, and to other people, they don't get it. But to you, it's because you have to prove something. Really, it's to yourself. You have to prove it to that kid that always wanted this, or that kid that never could have this, or that kid that never could afford this, and they had all the love in the world, and maybe it got shut down at an early age, you know? And so you're constantly fighting that energy. But to other people, it just looks like you're just an overachiever. And so I don't think people really understand that, to be quite honest. I feel like most people look at you like you're just like you're, what's the word I'm looking for? They look at you like you don't have any feelings because you're always focused. I don't know, you know, how that correlates, but I feel like people look at you like you don't need any emotional support. And you do. You probably need it more than the next person. So, this energy says that it wants you to look back at your past. The part where you feel like stuff, like whenever you had that switch where you turned into maybe a more hard individual, or maybe a less emotional or expressively emotional person, whenever you feel like you had to become tough, look back at that time and let's reconcile it. Whether it's going to have that conversation with that person that hurt you, whether it's sitting with yourself and really being like, yo, that already happened. It's not my present. It can only be your present if you bring it with you. And it can only be your future if that's how you live your present. So there's this, you know, you're so good at so many things, and I feel like you're very ambitious. I feel like you have lots of potential that people have already seen that you've done. The people look at you like, yo, like, you're the one who made it. Like, what are you upset about? But I feel like it's not even that. It's like, yeah, you've made it to a certain extent, but within yourself, it's only, you stay busy so you don't have to think. about the things that you probably need to think about. So as soon as you get to that point where you kind of dive deep into that emotional realm that you're so tapped into, but you pretend you're not, and you have that conversation you don't want to have, when you have that, do that work on yourself that you were scared to do in the first place. When that happens, you'll finally feel free, like free. And so then you'll actually get to enjoy all of the fruits of your labor that you've gotten to this point in your life. And you'll actually be happy. I feel like you're going to be smiling more, and people will be able to look at your eyes more, and they'll see a difference, and you'll feel the difference. But it's just you having to do it instead of just thinking about it or running from it. If you see the number 4 or the number 3, and you get that feeling, maybe it's time to dive deep, okay? That was a very cut and dry message. I feel like Spirit is saying they got a lot to do. They're always busy, so we got to make this short. So that's where I'm going to leave it at. Thank you so much for watching this, message for yourself. If it resonated, please make sure you leave me a thumbs up. And if you like videos like this, subscribe so that I can know and I can, give you guys more content like this. And if you would like to have your own private reading with me, make sure you email me, lovefromaleo@gmail.com. Thank you so much.